All right, welcome to the fourth video in the customer program. So if we go back to our code, we have implemented all of our menu options. Here are our menu options. We put 5 customers into our list and we can print them onto the screen. We can print 1 customer onto the screen. We can set a customer. We can add a new customer to the list and we can quit. So the only thing left to do now is to actually add an item to our customer order and check out. So let's take a look at our file with our function prototypes. So we've done the greeting function, the add 5 customers, add 1 customer, print 1 customer, print the list, select and return. We do menu selection, and look at this. 1 item is the same. Display the food selections is the same. Set the price is the same. Add quantity is the same. Reload and check for enough are the same. The only function prototype that has changed is the checkout. So we are going to have to update the checkout. So I'm going to bring this over to our code. But the thing is that we want to add first, and adding doesn't involve modifying any functions. So I'm just going to put the new checkout here and just going to comment it for now because we're not going to check out yet. We are going to do an order. So let's go and review what happens when you add an order. So when you add an order, what happens? We'll go back here and review. All right, so when you add an order, you have the price of the item, you have the total for that item, and you have the item number. So you call the display food selections, and the display food selections is, we're going to jump out of there and we're going to display the food selections. So you're going to display all of those numbers, get the number from the user for that item, and then you're going to return that item number. Now, we're not enforcing it with a do while to make sure that it's an item in range. I think that we have something here on the set price that if it goes out of range, the price will be set to 0. Now that you know how to update that, you can, but it will not be tested by the graders. So once you get the item number, then you pass the item number to the set price function. So let's jump over there to the set price function. It's going to set it to 0 if you have if you go out of range of the item number. But other than that, based on what number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, it's going to set the price. You should be very familiar with this. Return that price, and then that price will then get assigned to the price. Then what do you have to do? You add your quantity to order. So you pass the price. This function is going to ask the user how many they want and get the total. So we can add quantity to order. Put the price, how many do you want, and then return the quantity plus the price. So these functions we're not even going to modify at all. All we have to do is a little bit of adjusting here in our when you select A, right? So when you select A, we have an item total, and that item total is going to is going to stay the same. Why? Because I didn't put the item total as a field inside of your struct. I only put the order total as a field. So you can get the item total, get the item total. Now what's going to change now is your order total. So instead of having a variable called the order total, you're going to use your list. You're going to have your list. And what index are you going to be at? You're going to be at index order dot order total equals, and then you're just going to take that item, the item total, and add it. So it's not a big, huge change here. you're just, instead of using a variable inside of your main for the order total, you are using the order total variable that is inside of your list. So this is a very minor change. It's going to be a little bit of a bigger change when you check out, because when you check out, you're going to have to, you're going to pass the list because you have the account balance in there. But right here, this is the only change you have to do. And then you can, when you print it, obviously you're going to also print the total that is in the list of the current customer. All right, so we made it some changes. Let's test it out. All right, so if we select A, now it's going to say we need to select S to choose which customer. Oh, all right. So what happened here? It said to select S to choose which customer, and I made a little bit of a mistake. Oops. Because what did I do here? I forgot to put all of this inside of the else. You're only going to add an item if the customer is, I don't know why there's a, I don't know, we'll figure out if that's a problem here. Let's see why we haven't. Oh, we have no issues. It just glitched for a minute. So if it's -1, we haven't selected anyone else. So what I forgot to do, and that's why you should always test, because that could have caused a problem down the line. So now let's try it again. If I select add, now it tells me to select S. So now I select which customer. If I select index 8, it doesn't work. Select index 3, which is this customer. All right, so now I've selected which customer. The thing is now when I hit A, it does tell me that I have index 3. You may want to add some more information about which index is selected, so to make it easier to understand. So maybe here I want to say, all right, you selected index 3, and then maybe I want to print the last name. The last name is %S. So the way that I would print the last name, I would go to my list at index order dot last name, and then this character array will be here. So now I have a little bit more information about which of the which of the customers I've selected. So let's try it again. A, select S, select index 3, now select A. So now it says the index is 3 and the last name is Blair. So I just am giving myself a little more information. Now I can add to my order. So my current item is 65. If I want to add, it's still going to be my same customer. So now my order total is going up. My item total keeps adding to my order. And now if I want to check out, I can't check out yet because I haven't implemented that, but that's my last thing I need to implement. So it looks like add is working as expected. It was not a really big change. Checkout, we need to do a different function. So for the checkout, we are going to, we're still going to use the reload and the check for enough, but we are going to get rid of our checkout function that returned the double, and we're going to update our checkout function so that we pass the list, because the list has the order total in it and it also has the account balance in it. So let's see how this is going to work. All right, so we're going to go to our checkout function, which is here. All right, so we're going to change our checkout function. So our checkout function is going to take the list, and it's also going to take the index. Now, if our price is 0, so the the total price. What is the total price? The total price is the order total, right? So all we need to do now is say we just need to change everything here so that we are working with the list. So we'd be list at index. This is the index. You could say index order if you wanted to, dot order total. So that means if our order total is equal to 0, then we are going to, you don't have to return any balance. We're just going to say you have not ordered any items. Please select A. All right, so now we can also print the total price, which is the order total. You can also print the balance, which is, I think it's called account balance here. All right, so now if we want to check to see if we have enough money, we just have to pass our account balance and the order total. So we're still using check for enough, only instead of we're passing the account balance that's in the list and the order total that's in the list. And it's still going to work the same way. That's our initialization. And then we just have to go through and update all of these. All right, so then for the reload function, again, we're just going to pass our balance that is in our list and our balance and then when we update our balance, we just update it like that, and our total gets updated like this. So the only thing we don't have to do now is we don't return the balance anymore because the balance actually gets updated right in the list. So it doesn't have a double return type because we're passing the list, and the list is actually a pointer because it's an array. We're actually modifying those fields in the list directly. So our checkout works like this. We don't have to change anything in our check for enough. It's going to check if it's enough, and if it's enough, it's going to return a 1. If it's not enough, it's going to return a 0. So here we go. We check to see if it's enough. We pass the account balance that's in the list, the order total that's in the list. If it's not enough, we print the information onto the screen to let them know. Then we call the reload. We pass the account balance to the reload. The reload makes a copy of the account balance, asks how much you want to add, returns that amount, and assigns it back here. This is not the only way to do it, but this is the best way to do it without modifying what we had already done. Then we have the update for our loop. Eventually, we will have enough, which means this test will become false. Once we have enough, we just take our account balance and we subtract the total, and then we have our new account balance, and then we tell the user to enjoy their purchase. So the only thing left to do now is to call the checkout function. So how do you call the checkout function? Well, if you have not selected any customer, then we go up here to our menu. All right, so if you have not selected any customer, then you have to say S to select. If you have selected a customer, then you can call the checkout. You call the checkout function, you pass the list, you pass the index, and it will then check out. You can put a bunch of information here about, you know, how much the order is before, how much the balance is. This we don't need, obviously. And the only other thing that I recommend is after, you can print what the balance is after. So how would, if you want to do all of that, you have to put it inside of the curly braces. So you don't have to have that. This is probably printing too much, but that's okay. All right, so we do want to, after they check out, we do want to reset the item total. So that is a good idea because the next time you're going to have an order, you want to have the item total reset. And my recommendation is to take your list at the index. And set the order total to 0, because if you've already checked out, you don't want to, if you've already checked out, you don't want to add to it the next time because you've already checked out. But if you want to, before you do that, I added another field in which you could, before you reset the order total, you could have this previous order and set it to what the order total was. So you can keep a record of what their previous order was. This is only going to allow you, if they do like 5 orders, you're only going to be able to keep the previous order. It's not really a big deal. And also, if you want to just update these printfs here, you could say the current order total is, so that's just going to be your list order total. And before the order, the current balance in your account, same thing, only you're going to put account balance, and then print after the order, you can print what the new account balance is. There's probably some things that you're going to want to fix and, make it a little more in your style and all of that, but this should complete the program. So let's try it and see what happens. All right, so I'm going to select. All right, so we have selected index 3. We're going to add some items. So we'll add the combo box. So now our order total is $34. We can add another item like that. So now our order total is $94. So let's check out. When we check out, the balance in our account is 50 and we don't have enough money. So how much would you like to add? $10. We still don't have enough money. We still don't have enough money. We now have enough money. The current order total was $94.11. So I did, let's see. Oh, I put this information before the checkout. So let's fix that. This should be before the checkout. And then you check out, and then you set everything back, the balance after the checkout. Let's try again. All right, S3, add 4, 7 of those, add 3, 5 of those. All right, so $118 is our order total. We'll check out, and $30, it's not enough. $50, it's enough. So before we, it's 118, we had only $80. We added $50. We made the purchase because we had enough, and now we have $11.12. So if I print my list, you can see now that her previous order was $118, and now she's been reset for her next order. If she decides to make another order, it's been reset to 0. So hopefully this helps you get started on this assignment. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, but be sure to attach a current version of your code.